So are you watching Feud, the Capote versus the Swans, and the new look about Dior and Chanel?
I am watching both of them, and I certainly prefer one to the other.
And which do you prefer?
Dior versus Chanel, although because I'm Neanderthal, I guess I had no idea the backstory of Coco Chanel in the Second World War. That was not a good story.
No, it was confound. I mean, she's not the most sympathetic of characters.
No, and she's certainly not portrayed sympathetically, and I assume that this is factually accurate. I don't know, but she is certainly portrayed as an opportunist Nazi sympathizer, which is not an attractive look. Whereas Dior was suffering because his sister was in a concentration camp. And it's a really radical picture of two people in the same kind of space, but having extremely different lives.
Extremely different. And it's interesting because I love the Dior clothes. I
I
mean,
love them too.
they are
Yes.
just beautiful, and I've never been a huge fan of Chanel clothes for some unknown reason. I don't know why.
They're too tidy.
They're too tidy. That's
Yes.
interesting. Well, but Dior's were so structured. I mean, the bar jacket is structured, but it's just
I believe in structure
beautiful.
on my body. I can take as much
Yes,
structure as
that's
possible.
right.
Yes.
Fluid doesn't work for us.
No.
No, no, we need structure. So what? Why don't you like Capote versus the Swans?
Where shall I start? Well, first of all, the acting is extraordinary and visually it is beautiful. But something I just find peculiar about it, I mean, there's many peculiar things, but one of them is that the swans, is it four very accomplished, very beautiful, very wealthy women, and they are portrayed as pretty much doing nothing except having lunch at Côte Basque pretty much every day and drinking 10 bottles of wine before dinner. And it's just a terrible picture, in my view, of people wasting their time and their talents. And at least one of them certainly has a marriage I wouldn't want. I'm not sure it doesn't work, but it's not one that I would want.
But they were influencers in their day, right? I mean, they lived kind of a Martha Stewarty kind of perfect life,
But they didn't
right?
do anything. She cooks at least.
And no, I'm not saying that it's her at all. I mean, she works hard.
She does.
Um, but they were kind of iconic examples of perfection, right? I mean, that's what they were supposed to be, I guess.
I
But
guess.
when you say they were accomplished, I know Babe Paley was a editor or something at Vogue. But I don't know what the
Well,
others really
I think
did.
they were educated and they knew things, but according to
No,
this
because they
show,
don't show
they
them.
didn't do anything with anything except have lunch and deal with Truman Capote, who had his entertaining aspects in this show and his not so entertaining aspects. But I mean, how much time can you spend with anybody, let alone this particular gentleman?
Yeah, I think the acting. I mean, Tim, the actor that plays Capote, is brilliant at it, and it does remind me of what Capote was like when you saw him in on TV or interviews. But you don't really get why he was so vicious.
You don't. No.
I mean, he was really a vicious man and unhappy.
Well, I think those two go together.
Yeah,
Yes, exactly.
yeah. So
So
he's not very attractive. And while I love watching Naomi Watts play Babe Paley, I mean, she's just brilliant. It's hard to like her or even to feel sorry for her.
she's does a brilliant job, but she's also just very passive. It's not a look that I particularly like. I mean,
No,
I would
you
like
mean
to
the
look
character?
the character. Yes,
Yes, not her.
not her, but
Yeah.
yes, I would love to look like her, but not to act like her. Yes,
Yeah, it's interesting that I don't find them interesting.
exactly,
I wish
exactly.
I wish I did. Yes.